Oftentimes I gotta keep reminding myself that I can't compete. Now, compete in what? One may ask. Competing in this game called life. When you really think about it, or when I really think about it, images that I see on social media, expectations that I have of myself, unwritten, unspoken expectations that are connected to social norms within society, within my generation of people, where if you're at this age or at this stage in your life, you should have already completed this, that, and the third. You should have X, Y, and Z, / you should be planning for all these other things to happen within the next 10 to 15 years. You should already have your life figured out. And if you're not, then that means you ain't living life correctly. Like, what you doing if you ain't done this yet? What you doing if you're not planning to do this? What you doing if you're not doing X, Y, and Z right now and it don't look like what they got on this Instagram photo, or what they got in this Twitter post, or what they got on Facebook, or what they got on YouTube, or what somebody else is blogging about? It ain't really my game to win. If I was to constantly compete with everything that I saw, if I was constantly competing with what everybody else in mine was doing, what everybody's expectations / their perceived expectations of me, then I'm not supposed to win. Because how am I supposed to juggle the opinions of 30 different people, 80 different people, 100,000 different people, 1.8 million different people? And I'm gonna harp on social media just specifically because, like, we're in an age and an era, a digital era that we just never seen before, just as humankind, where at the drop of a dime, anything can go from 0 views to just about 1 million views in a matter of 3 minutes, 30 seconds. There's so much information, so much happening all at once, so much stimulation that comes from the mini screens and the big screens, where if I'm comparing myself to what I see on these screens, to what I see in these posts, and it's like, bruh, I'm destined to question what I'm doing. If I'm centralizing everybody else's experiences, if I'm measuring myself to a metric that wasn't even meant for me, then it's like, bro, you're gonna get the wrong, you're gonna have the wrong measurement every time. Really think about that. Imagine I wanna learn how to cook a dish. I go to a YouTube video to learn how to cook that dish. Now, in the United States, we use Fahrenheit to measure cooking temperatures. The rest of the world uses Celsius, which, anyway, if I'm trying to figure out how to cook a dish in the oven, cooking instructions say 220 degrees Celsius. If I don't make the conversion and interpret those directions to fit how my life really is operating, if I say, okay, that says 220 degrees Celsius, let me just do 220 degrees Fahrenheit and see what happened. Bruh, just throw the whole oven away, because the meal is ruined. Because it doesn't convert. That my interpretation of the instructions were incorrect. What they got going on in Celsius ain't gonna work for what I got going on in Fahrenheit. And this is also, it's not the end all be all. And just because they cooked it at 200 degrees Celsius, even if I do make the conversion to Fahrenheit, that still don't mean that my oven works the same way. So that the temperature that they have for their oven and the amount of power output from their oven, it may not match with the power output capacity of my oven. So even at 220 degrees Celsius, convert that to Fahrenheit, it still might not even be what I need. So if I'm constantly relying on what everybody else is doing and just letting everybody feed information to me and just hoping that it'll just fit, and if it don't fit, then that means something is wrong with me. No, I'm playing a game that is honestly rigged against me, if that's the case. If I'm relying on everybody's expectations and interpretations of life and society, and if I want to fit so badly into what everybody else has to say, then it's like, bro, that is a difficult battle, a slippery slope. I can't compete. And that's because the game is rigged. The game is rigged. So with all that being said, key points. I'm making sure that I am not competing in races or in competitions that weren't even meant for me. I'm making sure that I'm not forcing myself to fit in a category that wasn't meant for me anyway. Competing in a rigged game is a waste of time. So, I'll leave you with this. It is okay if you can't compete. Because who said that you have to compete to still win? It is okay if you don't want to compete. You don't have to if you don't want to. Run your own race. Set up your own challenges. Find your own path that is not based on the opinions of others, reliant upon people's validation, rooted in what other people think of you.